You have one lonely typeface and it's looking for another one. Maybe this one. But now, can they be a good pair? Will they work together? Are they a good couple? Basically, this is just a trick question. It's the same typeface. It's by Arne Jacobsen. It's a design letter, so they're designed. And I think they're a good couple. Why? You say they're not a good couple? This is from my wife. Why do you think we are not a good couple? We have 3 kids together. How dare you? How dare you, internet? Anyways, this is about mixing fonts and combining them. I got a lot of emails from you guys asking me questions, how can I pair fonts? And this video is going to be just about that. It's going to be a beginner's guide telling you all the things you need to know to get started on it, and then maybe some a bit more advanced stuff. Stay until the end of this video to find out what to do with the popular pairings on Google Fonts. Ready to get started in pairing some nice fonts? Then welcome to Pimp My Type. Hello and welcome typography enthusiasts. My name is Oliver Schöndorfer, user interface designer and typographer, helping you to leverage the full potential of your website or app with some pimped typography, and today with some paired typography. The first question you want to ask yourself when pairing a font is, do you really need another typeface at all? Dude, I'm here to learn about pairing fonts. Don't tell me I don't need another typeface. I need one. But consider this. You can do a lot with only one. If it has various styles, maybe bold or italic, for example, or a display style, which is suitable for larger sizes and short text. So maybe one typeface is enough and fits. So now you decide you want to mix some fonts. Actually, that's the reason why you play this video, I guess. You have to decide first about what kinds of texts there are and what's your main kind of text. There's a good video about this. And after you decided that, is it a display text, is it some body text or functional text, which is your main part? What is the base where you start from? Then you should apply as little different styles as possible. Like in any design system, you want to establish some visual rules, then repeat them over and over again so they get some authority. People get or understand what you mean by using them. So don't just go all over the place and pick for every paragraph a different typeface. This wouldn't make much sense. Or for every heading a different typeface and mixing everything up. Use as little as possible. You should always have a reason for another typeface. Some common cases are you have one for your heading and a different one for your body text. Or maybe you have one for your body text and then you need something else for functional text like captions or small print, this stuff. Or maybe you need another typeface for the code on your website because this should be a monospaced typeface and your body text is not. So these are some common examples why you need or should use another typeface and mix it with the one before. Quick win here! Quick win! There are type families that contain a lot of different styles and they fit together. Popular examples are PT-serif and PT-sans, or Roboto and Roboto Slab, or Teaser and Teaser-serif. No, Teaser-sans. Merriweather and Merriweather-sans. Adele-sans. There are type families that can work together out of the box because they were designed this way. There's also a very crazy one, oh my god. This one is ABC Arizona by Dynamo Type and it's got a serif axis. And you can go all the way from sans to serif. Isn't this insane? You have all the steps in between. It's just so crazy. I love it. And there's also something else, the Questa project, where you have a serif, a sans-serif, a slab serif and a grand, which is more or less a display style for larger sizes. Use something like this if you're just starting out. You can achieve so much just by using these type families. Here, if I'm having a title set in serif and the body text in sans, it's got a whole different atmosphere if I switch this. This seems more modern suddenly, but basically the body text is set in serif. only because the title is set in sans and the other way around. This just amazes me how the atmosphere always can change with some typography. By the way, if you like this video, hit the like button. So this could be enough if you're just getting into the basics. You can stop the video now and go. Still here? Alright, another way to pair fonts is to make it really different. So that it's so different that you more or less can always combine it. For example, here, this is a handwritten typeface, or this one is also very striking and different, or this one, this script typeface, is also very different. These kinds of combinations might mostly work because you don't have to look at these tiny details if it's the same or not the same or something. So go for contrast. Now we covered more or less all the basics, the quick wins, the good ideas that you can use for your starting point. With the next one, we're going to go into the nitty-gritty details and think about how we can do it in a more elaborate way. I picked an example here where I have, I love just Arida. It's such a beautiful typeface by Latino Type, Arida Black. It's got such a nice vibe, and you can feel the pen writing it and this calligraphy. Arida is a good typeface for titles, as you can see, and for body text at a certain size. But it doesn't perform well in small sizes. So if I need on my website some functional text for my captions or maybe for my navigational elements or buttons or whatever, I need another typeface that I can use there. Now I'm going to show you how you can combine this. Here it's too... Is there a word for Let's say there is. I just could set it in Roboto and I'm done because Roboto is good. No, don't do this. Why? It's a horrible combination, but let me show you why. So I came up with this brilliant work, Mega Typos. It's a good word because it shows you some different characters. You have rounded shapes with an O, you have DS, you have an E, you have different kinds of words. So if you have two typefaces, use the word Mega Typos. Copyright me here. Look for similarities. So for example, here when I take a look at Arida on the top, you see it has a two-story A and a two-story G. The E is rather open, the S is also rather open, the terminus of the S is rather open, and it's a bit squarish since it's got this calligraphic background. And when I take a look at Roboto, it's okay to have a sturdy sans-serif for smaller sizes, but it's just so soulless. Not just because it's Roboto. The shapes are more closed, it doesn't fit that well. The G is also different. It's not always about these individual characters, but it's mostly about how you can combine them and the atmosphere if it fits. So if I put this in the whole design, at first glance you might say, oh, that's good, I can read it better than before. Yes, okay, you can read it now, but this doesn't make it a good combination. So, soulless Roboto, out. But what can I use? What different typeface could there be? This is a much better combination. It's a sans-serif, but you can still see, I'm not sure if you can zoom in here, but you can still see that it's got not that even strokes. At the A you can see they're not that monolinear. The other thing is the shapes are more open, see that the S, the G is a two-story G, the E is also more open, so this might be a much better, nicer combination. Roboto, soulless, source sans, fits much better. You see it now? So now you basically know about how to pair fonts, look for some similarities, take a word like Mega Typos, always apply it in your design. Take a look at it in your design if it transfers the mood or the vibe you want to convey. Now let's talk a bit about Google Fonts. And there you see popular pairings with Roboto. Open sans. And this is just nonsense. It's nonsense. Why would I want to pair a sans-serif typeface with another sans-serif typeface? This is the thing what I was talking about. Go for contrast. Make it different or make it the same. But what reason do you have to use Open Sans and Roboto in combination? Why not just using Open Sans or Roboto, or none of them? Roboto is more squarish, Open Sans is more organic, more rounded, more open, so it doesn't work as a combination. This is clearly just based on the popularity of Google fonts, these different fonts, and this one is popular, that one is popular. Don't rely on the suggestions on Google Fonts. There might be some good picks in between, but this is more or less accidental. Rely on your typographer's eye and on the knowledge you just gained. Summing this up, do you really need another font? If you do so, think about what you need this other font for. Why do you want another typeface in your design? If you decided on that, maybe use some super families or some type families that contain sans and serif and other different styles. This is a quick win. Another quick win is just using a very striking and different display typeface for your headings, and then for your body text the other typeface, so that they don't get into clinches because they are so different. And if you really want to combine two typefaces here, go for similarities. Look for similar shapes, look for a similar construction, two-story G, two-story A. It's not always the thing that you want to look at this. Are the shapes open or closed? How are the strokes? How is the basic construction of the typeface? Do they fit well together? I hope you learned something from today's very extensive review here. As always, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm thrilled if you hit that red button that says in terribly spaced, all caps letters, subscribe, and subscribe to my newsletter. Link in the description below. Check out the articles that are also linked there, and see you in the next one. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Pimp my type.